Hello, here we are learning with Mr. Neff today, and we're looking at division property of exponents here, and we can simplify exponent problems with division in them. What's the key idea here? Well, we know when multiplying like bases, add the exponents. X to the fifth times x squared is x to the seventh. Well, when dividing like bases, subtract the exponents. X to the fifth minus x squared is x to the third. All right, so let's go over some examples. I was playing around with this and I decided just to write them all out for you. Okay, so here's three examples, three looks of how they would appear here. So we're going to simplify these exponent expressions. I'm just going to write them in. There would be so much easier, I think, here than trying to type. So here, as we said, when dividing like bases, subtract the exponents. This is just x squared. All right, next one. This is just 2 minus 4, which is x to the negative 2. And below here, I'll just write it. That would mean 1 over x squared, the opposite of x squared. And then here, again, if you have weird math, then you still would subtract this. And we can do this in our head, by the way. You say, you can. Well, 12 fifths and then 2 would be like 10 fifths. So if you want to just think of that as 12 fifths minus 10 fifths, all right, you'll get 2 fifths. And so this is y to the 2/5 power. And we'll just call that simplified. We're not going to do anything else to that. That's the basic 101 of that. Next one. Here we just have multiple variables in one problem. So we're just going to subtract our a exponents and then our b exponents. So a to the fourth, b to the eighth, and a to the sixth, b to the third. We're just going to subtract. We can break that down. That is fine. So this is really one term. I know it seems like it wouldn't be one term. There's multiplication, but there's no plus or minus. So it's all one term, and it's all able to be simplified there. A to the negative 2. Where did I get that? 4 minus 6. B to the 5th. All right, now obviously that first term is going to move to the bottom. So b to the 5th remains on the top, a squared on the bottom, and there that is simplified. All right, let's move on. Next one here, we have to sort of distribute that 3 all the way through. And so we have to simplify here. We're just saying x to the 4th times 3. And then down here, 3 to the 3rd. And we simplify whatever we can. On the top, 4 times 3, x to the 12th. And on the bottom, 3 to the 3rd, 27. Boom, that's it. Obviously, we can't simplify an x value property here, or x variable with a number, a constant, so that is simplified. Here now is another one. All right, now we get it just more complex. A couple different ways to do this, but we're going to distribute the negative 4 all the way through. And I'll show you the way I would probably do this, but this, since the way I've been teaching you, if we distributed this in, this would be 3 to the negative 4th, and then c to the, can I just do the multiplication now? Is that too early? 3 times negative 4, right? And then on the bottom, it's d to the 2nd times negative 4 as well. And let's go ahead and do some simplifying. See, that writing that all out seemed like I shouldn't have done that there. That's too confusing for me. Okay, so what we know is, oh man, there's so much here. Let's look at that c term first. That's going to be c to the negative 12. All right. And then we know the d term is going to be d to the negative 8. And that 3 to the negative 4th, we're going to just move that down to the bottom. Why? Because that was the inverse of it. And so 3 to the 4th will really go down to the bottom here. Now we got some simplifying to do and some flipping to do. So we're going to move over here. Okay. So let's look at that c term. If we have a line here, that c term will actually move to the bottom. Again, that negative was the inverse, moves to the bottom. The d term will move to the top. And then we know that 3 to the 4th is 81. Okay. Now, I showed you that, but I just think there's a better way. Here's what I would do with that, okay? I would go ahead, first thing, that negative, this means inverse of everything in here. So what I would want you to do is we act on that. We basically do that operation, and we're going to flip the inside. And then notice the negative dropped off here in the middle, okay? When I'm in the middle now, I see the negative dropped off. And now I distribute that 4 into there. Oh, look, d to the 8th. Okay, and then 3 to the 4th is 81, and then 3 times 4 is 12. Now look at what I just did here. Look how confusing and messy that is. You know, I don't like dealing with negatives if I don't have to. So I turn that negative into a positive, right? And in the sense of I just invert it now in business. I think that's much, much easier. So I recommend doing it the second way there. Okay, and the last one here, this is just putting 4 different things here to do at once. And so it's just more of keeping it organized and structured. I think of 8 over 2 as a fraction. So 8 over 2, that's 4. It's going to be on top. Yeah, if it was 2 over 8, the 4 would just be on the bottom. So we're going to say, we don't even need to write the 1 in the bottom. So 4. And then we're going to have, matter of fact, I'm going to just write it all. We're going to do our math. -2 minus a -3 for the A. All right, if I need to write that to help you guys. So that's a to the first power. The B now, the B here is 2 minus a -3. So that is B to the 5th. And then the C term is, oh, that's kind of messy, -2 minus 4. So that's C to the -6th. All right, so I like writing it like this, but we're not done yet. We got to do one change, and hopefully got enough room here. I feel like I should do a different color, maybe. Whatever that color is, we'll go with it. All right, so it is just 4A. We don't need to say the 1, B to the 5th over C to the 6th. Now, I haven't always taught it this way, but I think it really does make sense to just get all your negatives in a line, and then at the very end, if any need moved down, move them down, or all your numbers in a line, I should say, and letters. And then at the very end, oh, look, I have one negative. We'll move that down. I think that actually is easier than some of the other ways I've explained it before, so I recommend approaching it that way. I believe that is all with Learning with Mr. Neff. Thanks, and tune in next time.